Good morning, everyone out there, our blue to black listeners, watchers. I guess it's 25% watching since you do have my face moving on the screen. But really, the main part is you listening to I won't call it ramblings, I'll call it intelligent information that Will, the Pokemon guru, has walking me through Pokemon Black. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, everyone. Keith, before we get started today, I just want to let you know that I cannot feel any of this.
Is that the reference that you prepared me for before?
Yeah, I've been playing God of War, folks. I just wanted to slip in a reference there for Keith because he hasn't got to play it yet, so I'm teasing him.
Yeah, you are teasing me because I'm dying to play that game.
It's fantastic. It's
Even
awesome.
as someone who hasn't played the older ones, I am dying to play it.
I didn't like the older ones very much, and I think there's like a very interesting flavor to it for people like that either didn't play the originals or didn't like them very much because it's very different and it comments on the old ones in interesting ways too.
Right. Yeah, I'm a sucker for those Sony games with the third person. The character's just slightly to the left of center of the screen.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for those.
They got to type.
Yeah. So this is our 5th episode of Blue to Black, and I have news for you, Will.
News? What's the news?
The game is over.
You got the credits?
I have completed it to the credits. Now, give me the slow clap. Give me the slow clap.
There we go. All right.
For you, Will, I put my hands together and I shook them back and forth like they do in television.
I can't wait for the video.
Yeah. But anyway, I got to the credits, but of course, as you know, there is in-game stuff. We discussed it yesterday after I did get to the credits, and I've not done any of that.
Okay. Well, I was going to give you the option if you want to, unless you're just burn out on the game. We are doing a bonus episode in a week, folks. So this is the last standard episode, but in a week we're going to get together Tank Talk style and have a closing thoughts video of sorts.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to dive into the post-game content a little bit, we could talk about it then. If not, totally up to you.
I got a pretty light week at work, so I'll probably be hitting that up at lunchtime. I'll see what I can do.
All right. Well, Keith, I want to just dive straight to the end because the end is really awesome. But we're gonna do this how we've been doing it and go through it beat for beat. If that's okay with you.
That sounds good to me, sir.
All right. Well, there's one thing last week that we did that when we were talking about, I forgot to bring this up. So we're traveling back in time a little bit here.
Okay.
You remember the Chargestone Cave that we talked about?
I do.
There were a few characters you met in there that I forgot to mention. N has some ninjas.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That is pretty cool. I feel like it was late enough in the game where it was almost like I just took it for granted, oh, this is a kind of a crazy thing that is going to happen to me.
Oh yeah, there's ninjas now. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I think it was, for some reason I felt as though it was an easy thing to stomach. Maybe it's just because I feel bad for being this way, but there's a big barrier in these JRPGs between me and their story. First, for some reason, the top down, shrinking down the characters and just the way, and not not being able to hear any dialogue, reading it all, that's a big barrier for me. Yeah. And so I'll say throughout, I wasn't exactly enthralled. I'm not super invested in the story. So
that's totally fair. Totally.
It made it easy for me to be like, oh, okay, ninjas, cool.
Yeah. I think not commenting on JRPGs as a whole, but definitely the magic of Pokemon, except for maybe Black and White, is that you make your own story, I think.
Yeah.
The story is all about ooh, and this guy evolved here, and then this guy learned this, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah. I will say, because, again, spoiler alert for people, is that we do discuss some things in between these episodes. So when I told you that I'd finished the game and I got excited about that final boss and beating him or whatever, and I told you how that ended, I feel like that's the story of me and my Pokemon was much more compelling to me than the rest of it.
Okay, I like that. We'll talk a little bit more about that specific beat and the story as a whole in a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to make you reflect on those ninjas for a second there, because I really like those ninjas.
Yeah, they're definitely cool.
I also like how they don't really have any like explanation whatsoever.
Right, that's what I was going to mention that as well. I think that maybe that also was a factor in me
washing over you.
Yeah, but yeah, it was one of those things like, okay, all right, so they're ninjas, and
Yeah.
at every turn I did become more and more confused at like, why is this guy who wears a baseball cap and has a green ponytail? Why is he anyone's king? I don't understand the hierarchy of this Team Plasma.
Yeah, has it explained? Do you still not understand, Keith, having reached the end of the game?
I think I understand to an 80% level what he was up to.
He is like Getsus's adopted son.
Yeah,
and,
I was thinking either adopted or full blooded.
Yeah, I don't really even know how I know this, Keith, to be honest. I might know this from the anime or like manga or something, because it never really spells it out in the games for you. But basically, N was like a Mowgli type character. He lived in the woods and talked to Pokemon, and then Getsus found him and like knew that he could talk to Pokemon, and he like was working the long con at this point.
Yeah.
Used this kid's power to manipulate people, and so that's what he did.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's kind of how it came across there at the end.
Yeah.
You know, with his whole monologue telling you that's how it went.
Oh yeah. Classic.
But again, I'm making us get ahead. Let's go back to that 7th gym or wherever we were headed.
Okay, so we just beat Skyla.
We did.
And I think we talked about last week how you can either go to left to fight Skyla, or you can go to the right and go up a tower and ring a bell for some reason.
Correct.
So I think you did that next, right?
I did do that next. I went into the tower where the ghostly, apparently is where Pokemon are buried. It's like a tower of, like a mausoleum tower for Pokemon.
Yep.
Which is fine by me. Fought my way up there. I had I don't think I had trouble in there. I think I just got irritated with how many of those candle Pokemon popped up.
Yeah. I love those Pokemon, though. I love their design.
Yeah, I caught one. But it was like, okay, well, I fought about 10 of these. I'm ready to just make it to the top.
Yeah, and you've already got your bacon for your fire needs. Because they're a fire type.
Yeah, exactly. That is one type of Pokemon that throughout the whole game, I never had another fire type but bacon.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, so you're working your way through. You're fighting a bunch of ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Keith, did you know that in Pokemon Red and Blue there was a Pokemon Tower that was like a graveyard for Pokemon? Do you remember that?
I don't, man. I tell you, I get flashes of remembrance from Pokemon Blue, but I was so young playing it, I do not remember any of it. I have like one. What I remember most is the Pokemon Centers. Like, I could probably map those out for you, but I do not remember anything I did in that game.
That's fair. I'm one of those people that, like, my favorite games, I have to replay them like every few years. So, Blue's one of those games that's burned into my brain.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So you're leaving the tower after you ring that bell.
Right.
And,
does anything happen when I ring the bell? I remember it was being like, there's a Pokemon that's upset or something is at the top of this thing, but it's gone by the time I get there. Then I ring the bell. Honestly,
I couldn't tell you. It probably does have something to do with like the natural balance of spirits being upset.
Yeah.
Probably, because that's probably a reference to the first game, actually, because that's what you did in the Pokemon Tower in Red and Blue.
Right.
So, so you're leaving that tower, and on the route going towards the tower and going away from the tower, there's clowns tightrope walking on wood. Remember those guys?
I do. I definitely do, because that was another confusing thing.
That's just another funny little non sequitur that this game has.
Yeah, like there's clowns out here. There's just clowns clowning about in the wilderness that want to fight you.
Shenanigans.
Right. Which it definitely lends itself to, like, don't forget, this is a fairly lighthearted situation you're in. Like, we're still in a world full of Pokemon.
Yeah. Everyone's still just goofing around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're I think isn't this a point where a lot of this game kind of runs together in my mind, Keith? So I might need a little bit of
Sure.
help guiding the folks through this part. But don't you go through another cave, another mountain?
Yeah, it's like a mountain. It's a cave you go through, and then you open up into like this snow bowl of a cave, like a cave valley, where there's a lot of different doors and different caves that you can walk
Yeah,
through and people you can fight in there.
yeah.
And I did not spend a lot of time in there. I don't know why. I caught a few Pokemon in there that I hadn't seen. I fought a few people, and then I think the reason I didn't stay in there very long is because I lucked out and I chose the door that led me to the next city.
And you were just like, you're not going back in there.
Yeah, it's just for some reason it's the caves. I feel like I always end up getting stopped by Pokemon that I've already caught and I don't really want to fight. They don't give me a whole lot of XP, so
Yeah.
I'll either pop a repel and just head on through there because but in that side of that cave, I think I saw Sharon, and I probably fought in or something on the way to that next city.
Yeah, I know you definitely did fight Sharon. I don't know if you want to talk about Sharon yet, but I was going to ask you, have you seen his... He's got an Oshawott, right? He's
Right.
got a water... Have you seen that final evolution yet?
I have seen the final evolution, and I remember us talking about it in the beginning and how you said that it was kind of like a unicorn water situation there. I don't think it's like it certainly wasn't disappointing. It was a little bit wild, but I mean, I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it.
I just don't see how the middle form turns into that.
Like, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and I feel like the middle form, like like classic evolution style, like Charmeleon to Charizard, it's just like a bigger, more evil-looking version.
Right.
And I feel like Duat, keep him on two legs, make him a little bit taller, give him a mean face.
Yeah.
That's all they needed.
Yeah.
But
make those eyes less welcoming and kind.
Yeah.
I think they took a big jump with that one. I think you're right.
Yeah, I just don't quite get what they were thinking. But I bet someone at Game Freak is very pleased with its design.
They probably are.
Is happy that, they let him turn him into a unicorn. So good for him.
He's still flying high on it. He just goes to bed every night holding that plushie.
I can't believe they let me make Samurott an otter.
Yeah.
Or a unicorn.
I got away with it.
Yeah. So after you go out of that cave, you're in a snowy city now, aren't you, Keith?
I am. I don't remember what is it Icarus?
That was the one before that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because of the flying.
Yeah.
I don't remember what this city's called.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
Also,
yes, there's snow.
I think the gym leader's name, it has something to do with ice. It's like, it rhymes with ice, right?
His name is, I think, Brycen.
Brycen, yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yes, I do have him in my notes.
I think he's in the running with Skyla for least memorable gym leader of this game.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'll tell you though, before we get there, my Tortuga, on the way into the cave or the mountain we were just talking about, he evolved to Caracosta.
What you think about that guy, Keith?
He's big. He is reminiscent of Blastoise to me, so I was very pleased.
Yeah. He's like a more realistic looking Blastoise, basically.
Yeah, just a big old turtle man.
And his name is Crush, correct?
Yes, his name is Crush.
Good name, dude.
Yeah. I found that he didn't exactly have the mannerisms of Crush. I feel like he's far more capable in battle than the Finding Nemo Crush, but I definitely enjoyed that I chose that name.
Any more evolutions going on that you want to talk about before we keep going?
I think that's the last big evolution before we get to the 8th badge city.
Okay. So you're still rocking a Pig Knight at this point?
I'm still rocking... Oh, no. Actually, the tower. That's Dragonspire Tower, right?
Oh, the tower is where you got him. Okay.
Okay, so, no, yeah, we need to talk about 2 more evolutions. Actually.
Which tower?
Dragonspire?
Okay. I forgot there's 2 towers that we're going to be talking about today.
Or Dragon Spiral?
Yeah, Dragon Spiral. After you beat Brycen, it's like right above his gym, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so never mind. We'll talk about it in a second. So, Right now, yes. Tortuga is the only... Tortuga to Caracosta is the only evolution before this gym.
Nice. Your team's slowly becoming something that can take on the Elite Four even.
Exactly. Keith. Something formidable.
Yep. So you take out Brycen. Did Brycen put up any... I'm assuming your Pig Knight just...
Oh, he had...
everything?
It was so nice to just walk into a gym and just with the thought of I've been preparing the whole game for this because I started with the fire Pokemon and I just ripped that whole gym a new one.
I bet that was satisfying.
Yeah, we just walked in. We just walked in with Bacon and it was like Bacon opened his mouth and I don't think maybe he definitely didn't have flamethrower at that point because he was still a Pig Knight, but he just wrecked them all. Nice. The whole gym was a dripping mess after being melted. After his
and
time.
And you guys high-fived.
Yeah, we high-fived. Had a big old hug.
So take out Brycen. Badge, please. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. I grabbed it on the way out of the puddle that he left with his tears and Pokemon.
Nice.
That's a lot darker than it really was. I'm sorry.
So then you head outside, and isn't like everyone standing around or something, or no?
Yeah, I think Bianca and Sharon are there, and then he comes outside too. I don't know if Alder is there or not.
I think he is.
Yeah, but they say like, okay, N is blown a hole in the side of Dragon Spiral Tower. He's going for the Pokemon. You ought to go see what's up.
Yeah. and as you're walking up this tower, and like every few steps, you hear N like screaming something, talking to a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it took me a while. I think it was around this point where I finally like understood what N's plan really was. And basically it kind of just boils down to, I'm going to awaken this legendary Pokemon and then everyone will listen to me because I'll have this big dragon.
Right. And that ain't a bad plan.
Yeah, it's a lot more like straightforward, skipping some steps than like the old teams. Like, because I told you about how after Red and Blue, pretty much every game has an evil team trying to reawaken a legendary Pokemon for nefarious purposes.
Right.
And Ends is the most straightforward. People will respect me if I have this big dragon.
Which makes complete sense. Like, these people worship this dragon Pokemon as a deity. If I can make that deity do what I want, then
they'll listen to me.
Yeah, it follows. They listen to me. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So he's up there. So in your game, he's trying to awaken Zekrom, right? The big black one.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah, and I forget which one he represents, but basically it's like there were two legendary heroes of Unova long ago, and one sought ideals and one sought truth.
That's correct.
Yeah,
I think he's ideals.
That makes a lot of sense. Ends searching for ideals, and then you have the truth.
I'm the harbinger. I am the silent harbinger of truth.
Yeah, I wonder if like Pokemon White makes less sense. Like I wonder if in Pokemon White, N is the harbinger of truth, and you're the harbinger of ideals, which doesn't really make sense.
Huh. Yeah, your character doesn't have any ideals.
Yeah,
like he doesn't really have a personality. He's whatever you put into it, but
yeah, he's all about truth, and the truth in this game, it seems to boil down to, is Pokemon are fine beating the crap out of each other for our amusement.
Exactly. For our amusement is a good way to put
it. That's really what it is.
It is a very cute gladiatorial lifestyle the Pokemon live.
Yep. They seem to like it, though. They seem to be fine with it.
Exactly. That's the point of that's what we find out in the end.
Yep. So who are we to judge?
Not me. I'm no one to judge.
Also, I really, while we're still in Dragon Spiral Tower, I just want to touch on like how cool I think the imagery is of like two like Pokemon teenagers, each with their own like black or white dragon.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool image.
Definitely.
I love that N is like around the same age as your character too.
Right.
So you're both like these two smart Pokemon kids, you know.
Yeah. Out on their own.
Yep.
I keep bumping my mic if you hear these stupid noises. I think one time I dropped my phone, just now I punched it, so I don't want you to think that things are going wrong over here.
Nope.
All right, so in that tower though, we had some more evolutions occur.
Ooh, excellent.
I never thought when I caught him in whatever forest I caught him in very early on, I never thought that what's the flying Pokemon? What's before Tranquil?
Pidove.
Yeah, I never thought that Pokemon would become not only a stable member of my team, but like a true MVP in the end. But he became an Unpheasant in Dragon Spiral Tower, and from there on, like he, for some reason, if a Pokemon battle was going wrong, I put in Flyboy, which is what his name was. I put him in, and like he seems to right that ship, and I don't know what it was about him. But,
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, he throughout all time has now become a major part of the team. I mean, he has Fly, he's quick,
Right.
but yeah, he makes that evolution in the tower and seals his fate.
Unpheasant. I love that name. I
Yeah.
love that name. That's so
Pretty
funny.
sweet.
Well, so are all your guys evolved at this point except for Pignite?
Nope. Pignite also evolves to Embor on this in the tower.
How's that for a name? We're just getting a bunch of good Pokemon names today.
Oh yeah, exactly. I
Fire.
do love Embor.
Is he everything you hoped he would be? Are you satisfied?
Oh yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big old fire dude. I like whenever you drop him in, like he has a little extra flame flare that whenever he pops into the battle.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Nice. So he's a firefighting type, Keith.
Right.
And something interesting, especially for you, your perspective on this game. So in Generation 3, Ruby and Sapphire, there was the first ever firefighting starter. The fire starter in that game eventually gained the fighting type. And everyone was really cool with it. And then Diamond and Pearl came around. Chimchar turns into a firefighting type. Everyone, okay, that's cool, but Blaziken was just firefighting last generation, so. And then by the time Black and White comes out, everyone's looking at Tepig, and we're all thinking it can't be another firefighting type. It's gonna be it's gonna be Fire Dark, right? He's like black and orange, yeah, for sure. And then we see Embor, firefighting. And people were not happy, but I personally think Embor's the coolest firefighting type. So
yeah, I think he's super cool, and I mean, since I didn't play those, it doesn't bother me. Like that goes right over my head.
That's
So
a very unique perspective. And also, we got a fan out there, Kevin Maccabee. He might not be our fan anymore because I just said Embor's better than Blaziken. So
stick around, Kevin. It gets better.
Please do, Kevin. It gets better.
I don't know. I'm only in the present. I don't know anything about the future, but I'll say it gets better.
Well, Pokemon Switch is on our horizon, so it's going to get better.
That's true. Truly.
That's what I keep telling myself, Keith.
Yep. So you want to move on? We're getting some good conversation in, but we haven't even made it anywhere close to the end. I can get you quickly through the last gym if you want to move on.
Yeah, let's skip ahead a little bit. We get to. There's nothing really in between, so we do the 7th gym, then we do Dragon Spiral Tower, and then you go through, I guess, a route, and then you're in the next city?
Yeah, there's like a mall, like a shopping mall, and some bikers that hang out in front of it.
Yeah, so you go there, and you meet the Dragon Master, Drayden.
That's correct, right? Yes. And
do you also meet Iris in there? Do you meet Iris?
I do not know, Will. That name doesn't ring a bell to me.
She's a little black girl. Yeah, maybe you don't meet her in this game, but she's basically in white version. She's the gym leader there.
Oh, okay.
And I think she's Drayden's granddaughter, is how it works.
Okay.
So yeah. So you fight Drayden. Anything stand out? Was he difficult for you?
Oh yes, he rocked my world. Really, most of his lackeys rocked my world. What is the It's I don't remember what it's called, but it's that dragon Pokemon that looks like it has a propeller on the front of its face.
Oh, Druddigon?
Maybe. I don't know. It's like the first one you fight in there.
Haxorus?
No, not that one.
Axew?
No, I don't think that's him either. Dang. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm going to open up.
It might be Haxorus. I think it's Haxorus.
He's got some green to him.
Yeah, that'd be Haxorus for you. Yeah, or not Haxorus. It's Haxorus is pre-evolution.
Okay. Yeah, and that's That's the big evolution, I think. It's Fracture.
Yeah.
Fracture.
Fracture. Yeah.
The one in
Okay.
between. The one between Axew and Haxorus.
Okay.
That guy, which I know he doesn't have. That's not a propeller on his face, but he.
This guy.
Yeah, he'd use that bulk up move or whatever. Like he'd use Dragon Dance, and then he would Dragon Claw me to death.
Ups his speed and his attack. That's dangerous.
Yes. So I googled how to beat Dragon type Pokemon. I learned that Steel type Pokemon do a good job. So I went out to that route in front of the shopping mall. Went into the grass there, and I was like, I need to find something to do. Surely they put something I can use against this guy, against Fracture out here. So I find a Poniard. And I was like, oh man, he's got some steel hands. He got some blades on him. Let's see what we can do about that. I capture him. He is revealed to me to be dark and steel type Pokemon. And so I say, all right, who did I boot off the team? I booted Krokorok off the team, which I know hurts you.
But it does hurt a little bit.
I took Krokorok off. I put Poniard on there, which you will enjoy the name. Hopefully I named him Stabby.
I do enjoy that.
I took to the route to fight as many people as I could. I gave him the lucky egg, and I leveled him up like crazy. I think he was like over level 50 when I went back in that gym.
Dang, you came back prepared.
Oh yeah, and
Had he evolved?
He did not evolve here.
Okay.
So I think he was a little bit less than 50. He was like right at their level, or a little bit over, when I went in. And it was still tough.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's probably so tough since he's not fully evolved.
Yeah, the only thing that saved me in the end was his last Pokemon, the gym leader's last Pokemon. He just kept doing Dragon Dance, and so I would just chop him up every time, and he finally died.
It's like, dude, this Dragon Dance doesn't work if you never attack me.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe he probably would have if I didn't get him quickly or something, but...
Yeah. Well, nice. I'm proud of you, Keith. That was a very Pokemon Master move of you.
Yeah, had to make a sacrifice on the team. Definitely preferred Krokorok, but
yeah.
I mean, Poniard looks pretty cool.
It happens. And I don't know if did you ever see Krokorok's final evolution or no?
I've seen it. I don't have it, but I definitely saw it.
Yeah, he turns red for some reason, and I'm not a huge fan of him turning red. So,
yeah. And he's just a big version of himself, right?
Yeah, he's just like a big red version of Krokorok. But yeah, so I'm totally okay with you swapping him out for Stabby.
They can't all be home runs, Will.
Nope, they can't.
Some of them are just different colored animals.
If he looked like if they basically just made him Krokorok but cooler and more menacing, I think it would be too cool for the games. Yeah, I think that might have been the case with Duat too. They're like, no, we just can't have it look that cool.
That's very possible. It seems like based on the art style.
Yeah, then it'll be everyone's favorite Pokemon.
Yeah. We can't do that.
Yeah. Alright, so you beat Drayden, and then I think before you go up to Victory Road, do you fight Sharon for the last time?
I believe so. I think I do fight him one last time.
Okay, I forgot. Keith, were we recording when we talked about Samurott? We talked about Samurott, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know. I forgot if that was before we started recording or not.
No, yeah, we talked about him on live television.
Live in the studio.
I was making a funny face of myself in the webcam whenever I said that.
Giving me more reasons to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you fight Sharon for probably the last time? I
always enjoy fighting him because he is one that has like a bunch of different types of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I get frustrated when it's like, I have to fight someone with, they have every type of Pokemon as this Pokemon, but with him I can be like, it's like a true battle where it's like, if this person's going to throw out fire type, I can throw out my water type. This person's going to throw out water type, I'll throw out my plant type or whatever. And it actually is like a strategy type situation.
Yeah, I always find that the rival battles are my favorite ones in the game usually.
No doubt.
Also, Keith, one thing I wanted to mention this whenever we first, like in the first episode, whenever we first started talking about Sharon and Bianca, but in Red and Blue, and Gold and Silver, you had rivals in those games, and they were like jerks.
Yeah.
Like you probably, I don't know if you remember, but definitely from the TV show, Gary in season 1.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like a yeah, you suck kind of character.
Right. Then you beat him every time.
Yeah. Around Ruby and Sapphire, they started changing. They still call them your rivals, but they're now your friends.
Right.
And more so than ever in Black and White, you get 2 friends. Everyone's always kind of disappointed about, like, man, I wish they would make a real jerk rival again. But I kind of got my fill on that in Generation 1 and 2, so I kind of like how you have friends.
Honestly, it just doesn't make, in the world, it seems like it doesn't make sense. Like, 99.999% of the population are just happy to be alive and happy that you're using Pokemon, and this one person is like a jerk to you and doesn't, like, there's an evil team, and then there's one person who's a regular person who doesn't like you. It doesn't fit. Like, everybody else is just happy to be alive.
Yeah, it's like, what is wrong with you, Gary?
Yeah, like, who hurt
Silver.
you?
Get it together. Oh, we know who hurt Silver, but we can talk about that in the finale.
Gotcha.
You don't even know who Silver is, Keith. Never mind.
Yeah, that's okay.
That'll be some. I'll bring some fun Pokemon trivia to the table for the finale, and I'll let you talk about Silver a little bit, or I'll talk about Silver to you.
That'll be good.
All right. So we got 8 badges, Keith.
We got 8 badges. Felt good. And it feels good to have them all in my pouch.
Nice. And so now we're about to go through Victory Road, aren't we?
Yes. Victory Road frustrated me. I found it hard to navigate up that mountain. But I fought people there, leveled up my Pokemon. I thought I was strong enough. I thought I was the best, the very best, like no one ever was. And then I get to the top and I start the final 4. And luckily, do you want me to stop? I don't want to take any interludes for you to speak.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good.
All right, so I go in. They tell me like who's where in this thing. So I go. I've got Pawniard. He's got the move Night Slash now. So I head in and I fight the Psychic Girl. And Pawniard, first battle, he cuts him up with Night Slash all the way through, no problem. After that, he evolves to Bisharp. So Stabby is now Bisharp. After my first foray into the Elite Four, I go into the southeast room. The fighting guy, Marshall, is there. And his Pokemon jump up in the air, fly with their feet towards my head, and knock me straight out. Nothing I can do. I get wrecked.
Oh, no.
Wrecked, Will. I get wrecked, and I tumble down the mountain.
Oh, man. So you got to go back into Victory Road and train some, don't you?
Oh, man. The whole thing, yeah, I was out of trainers. That's what was frustrating about it.
Yeah, so you just got to fight Boldors.
Yes. And so I passed my lucky eggs around. I boosted really what I did is I boosted up my Unfezant. I boosted up Flyboy to the point where he was about level 48 or 49, and I sent him back in there and I just spammed the fly move so he would dodge attacks and then come back down and smack down on those fighting Pokemon.
Nice. So Flyboy took out Marshall for you?
He did. So that was my second run through. So I go Flyboy takes out Marshall. Then I go up, let Bisharp, let Stabby take out, I don't know her name, but the Psychic Girl. Then I go southwest to the Ghost Pokemon. And again, I get wrecked. I get wrecked by really all of them really give me a run for my money. And that
Stabby wasn't helping you out there? Night Slash wasn't really working?
There were some Pokemon with fire moves in the Ghost thing.
Ooh. Yeah, that Chandelier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then I was like, well, I got to level up the rest of my Pokemon because they were all in like the mid 40s. So go back down, pass the Lucky Egg around, and get everybody up to about the 45 to 48 range, especially my Caracosta and my Embor. We go back in and we take care of business. And then again, so I go back in and I start with the Ghost Pokemon. I don't want to waste too much time. Beat them, move up to the northwest side, and that is who's that in the Elite Four? What type of Pokemon are they?
All right, we done fighting, psychic, and ghost. I think dark. It's Grimsley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he also gave me a run. Like, each one, progressively was tougher and tougher and tougher for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, because like, it's like the kind of, you go in and you get kicked out, so you got to get back up and go in again.
Yep.
But finally I do defeat them, and I know you probably have questions you want to ask, but that was the story.
Okay, nice. No question in particular other than which one do you think was most difficult? Sounds like you had a little bit of trouble with each one.
Most difficult in their own right, I would probably say it's probably a tie between Grimsley and then the ghost ones.
Okay.
They gave me the most trouble, and those battles were ones where I had to switch people out. I had to let Pokemon die intentionally in one so I can revive them with the next one, get them full of health, and bring them back in later to finish the job. Like, there was some real strategy involved in those battles.
Nice. So you said Grimsley and which one was it? Grimsley and Ghost one? You said?
Yeah, Ghost. So both the Western elites.
Nice. What about Grimsley was difficult? Do you remember?
God, dude, I don't remember all his Pokemon. So
okay.
I don't.
That's okay.
He had that one fighting dark type that has like a yellow jacket on or something.
Oh yes, Scrafty. Yeah, he's really good. That's a good Pokemon.
Definitely, he can use that flying kick move that will tear you up.
Yeah.
God, dude, I don't remember. I was blazing through there yesterday because I was tired of losing, so I was just trying to blaze through there.
I feel you. So right before we go into the final battle, let's set up for everyone, since everyone's evolved now. Let's run through your team real fast so we can get them up on the screen.
Perfect. So the team is Bacon. I don't have them all written down at this point, so I'll do it from memory. Bacon,
okay.
This is the Embor.
Firefighting type.
Exactly. We've got Crush, Caracosta. We've got what did I name my Simisage? His name is Hairdo, exactly, that's his name. Hairdo is his name. We've got Flyboy, the Unpheasant, Stabby, the Bisharp, and I believe Zapra is still on my team. Zapra, the Zebstrika.
Nice. I like your team a lot, Keith.
I do too. I enjoy it.
Aesthetically and in terms of like utility. Very good.
I'm a sucker for the diversity and getting the job done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna apprise you of the timestamp of this video right now. We're at 38 minutes. Now, I don't want to be the kind of guy who's gonna lock us in and say like we gotta stop, but I just want to let you know. I don't if that one affects how you want to handle this, because I imagine we could probably go for another 20 on the finale. I don't know.
Let's just talk about the finale real fast, Keith, and then if we want to talk about like extrapolate anymore, we can do that in the finale next week.
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay. Also, I just don't want to end this conversation yet.
Of course. Hey, I'm all about it.
So we go into the final chamber, and something really weird happens at this point, Keith.
Yes.
Definitely
weird.
Logistically speaking, I have no idea how they pull this off.
Yeah.
I don't know if Team Plasma had a castle buried underneath the Elite Four for thousands of years.
Right.
I don't know if they conjured this castle with magic. I don't know what happens. But basically a castle comes up from the ground for N and for Team Plasma.
Right.
And so now you're in a castle.
Yeah, it comes up around, and then there's stairs that shoot out the side of it and into the Elite Four temple thing.
Yeah, okay. Just all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's... Yeah,
what? It's
the logistics that are the problem with that. Like, my thought is, well, if they can do this, why don't they just do it over the whole world and take people's Pokemon? If they have these kind of resources, what are they wasting their time for?
I think Game Freak just wanted the ending to be very flashy, but didn't really think about the logistics of how this would actually work out. So you go up there, and do do you catch the dragon Pokemon like at this point also?
So yeah, I think you go up there. Yeah, you go up there, and there's like this. The sages stop you, and they're like, "Hey, you got to go through us to get to N, right?"
Uh huh.
And I was really excited because I was like, "Oh God, am I gonna have to fight all these guys or whatever? Like, is this how they're gonna beef me up for the final battle?" And then all the gym leaders come from behind, and they save me.
Isn't that awesome?
I'll be honest. That was the first moment that I almost got like my heart raced a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, let's do it. Let's
awesome.
finish this."
That's awesome. I'm glad you got that moment out of the game.
Yeah, it was really. That's probably my favorite moment of the game. Honestly, it's just I typed in all caps on the notes on my phone, "The gym leaders come to save me."
Yeah, isn't that awesome? And I feel like this is the best game to do that in too, because in this game more than any other ones, you actually get to know all the gym leaders.
Yeah, and you don't. They don't like call you a stupid kid. Sorry.
Yeah. Feels like your buddies are all coming to save you.
Exactly. It was definitely my favorite moment. I was very excited, and it's one of those things like, "We'll hold them off. You go do what you got to do," which is the typical like movie thing. But
yeah. So then you go up there and you fight N.
Yep, I walked through the different areas of the tower. I'm hoping that you can fight some of those Team Plasma guys, but you can't. So yeah, I'm up there with N now on his throne.
Going to the castle. Did you see N's room in the castle?
Yeah, like the little the kids' room.
Yeah, isn't that creepy?
Yeah, it was a little bit creepy, and I stole the rare candy that was in there.
Oh yeah, there's a rare candy in there. Yeah, and it's like playing really weird music too. It's like din 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 din.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was a little bit eerie.
Yeah, very very strange. But so yeah, Keith. Now I keep thinking that we should have just saved this for next week. But let's keep going.
We could always rehash it. We could give the general skeleton of what happens. And then we could talk about the stuff because there's definitely some philosophical things that even happen before I get up there that I'd like to discuss.
Okay. Yeah, let's just logistically speaking go through it right now.
Sure.
So do you remember N's team? Did anyone on N's team give you trouble?
N's team was not too tough for me because we go up there. He says like, your Reshiram hasn't even graced you with his presence or whatever, and but then of course the white legendary Pokemon comes and he.
That's my cue.
Yeah, that's my cue. This end of the game. Time to arrive. So I do switch him out in my team for Zapra.
Okay.
And so I fight N, and I don't remember anything super tough happening with the N battle. Several of my Pokemon fainted, but in the end, I definitely I took care of them fairly easily, and I don't remember a lot of the Pokemon that he had on his team.
And so at this point, you think you've beaten the game, right?
At this point, I'm like, yeah, I've done it. This is it. But no, not so.
At any point during this fight, are you thinking about, like, what happened to Alder? I should be fighting Alder right now. Or did that not?
I saw him at the bottom of the stairs, and he was, like, all torn up about how he lost.
Oh, yeah, he did lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about Alder next week. But,
what a noob.
Yeah. So then you fight Getsus, and I remember you telling me, Keith, that Getsus gave you a run for your money.
Getsus, he wanted me to get frustrated and break your DS. That's what he wanted.
I hope you didn't.
I didn't. I did not. It was definitely a meta gaming situation where he came out of the game for me and frustrated me because he has this Pokemon, her whatever it is called. I can't even remember what it's called. It's a big dragon Pokemon Hydreigon.
Hydreigon, yeah.
And it can do Surf and Fire Blast and Dragon type moves. For me, it was far too overpowered. I was very frustrated by it. I had to go back outside of the thing after losing like 5 times. I had to go outside, train up Emboar and train up more of my Pokemon, get them ready to go. Find a way to finally level up that legendary Pokemon, which makes no sense. How am I have to go train with this legendary Pokemon and level him up?
Oh yeah, that is kind of a downer.
Yeah, and then I go back in there and I lucked out because the first move I did on him on the Hydreigon with my legendary Pokemon was one that paralyzed him. And you have that chance of he can either move or he either moves or maybe he can't move. And he tries to use Dragon Blast, and I'm like, when I click this A button, I'm going to find out whether I'm going to lose this battle or not. And so I hit it, and it said he's paralyzed and can't move, and that's one of the things where, like, that's my opening, and I dropped everybody from there.
Excellent.
It was still pretty tough. There were definitely still some more Pokemon that were tough in there, and I had some heavy hitters make some Pokemon of mine faint, but in the end, the final killing blow to complete the whole game was a flamethrower blast from Embor, which was just so beautiful in my opinion. It like that.
Another clap for you.
Yeah, that was the icing on the cake of this situation. Was just from the beginning, it has been Bacon that has been with me, and in the end, it's Bacon who steps in front in the line of fire and finishes the job to save the world.
Excellent. That's such a good ending, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good ending. So, yeah, there's a lot of philosophical things we can go into about that ending, and some more details. There's some things that we talked about throughout the series that I want to like put a final word on next week, also.
Sure.
But we're at 50 minutes. It says 50 minutes on mine. That's when we started talking. But
yeah, so the true video is about 46 at this point. So hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves by this point.
Yeah.
If you stuck around this long, we're probably just talking to Kevin. So Kevin, appreciate you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna meet for a Tank Talk style video next week, folks.
That's right. And if you don't know what Tank Talks are, they're videos on our main channel where Brandon and I sit down and we discuss whatever it is that comes to mind that week. So head on over to Tank Media Network if you want to watch those.
Yep, we're gonna have like a finale, closing thoughts kind of deal episode where we just get all our ducks in a row before we stop talking about Pokemon officially for a while.
That's right. I'm real excited.
Me too, my friend.
And I've enjoyed this.
This was really fun. How does it feel, Keith, having 2 Pokemon games under your belt?
Man, I feel like a god. I feel like there's nowhere to go from here but down.
Gotta get you to play some more Pokemon games, Keith. That's right. What we got to do.
That's what we'll do. Pokemon Switch is on the horizon.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I've enjoyed it, and we will see each other in person for the next video. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
All right. See everybody later.
Adios.